Unprecedented protests against forced hijab laws have engulfed Iran. The custodial death of 22-year-old Mahsa Amini last month became the flashpoint for nationwide anger against the Iranian government. Amini was arrested by Iran's morality police for not wearing her hijab properly. The Iranian women were already angry with the Iranian leadership, but Amini's death turned their anger into nationwide protests. The Iranian government, led by President Ebrahim Raisi, has been trying to suppress the protests by coming down hard on demonstrators and curtailing social media information. According to human rights groups, more than 200 people have been killed in Iran's crackdown on protests following the death of Mahsa Amini. Despite the crackdown, women in Iran are not budging. They have been burning the hijabs publicly and cutting their hair to convey that enough is enough. What is empowering the Iranian women is the global support their campaign is receiving. France to the US and Turkey to even Afghanistan. People across the world are reverberating chants of women, life, freedom. The political slogan has become synonymous with the ongoing struggle of Iranian women. This Swedish MP chopped off her hair during an assembly of the European Parliament.
We are going to stand with you. Jian, Jian, Azadi, women, life, freedom.
The EU lawmaker is one of the many public figures who have expressed solidarity with the Iranian women. The ongoing wave of anti-Hijab protests also begs a few questions. Was Iran always like this? Were Iranian women always forced to wear hijab? If we look at the history of Iran, then we will find that the Middle Eastern country was once very tolerant towards women's clothing. Before the 1979 Islamic Revolution changed Iran forever, women in the country were free to dress however they wanted. While hijab was still widely worn by women, they also used to don Western-style clothes including tight-fitted jeans, mini skirts and short-sleeved tops. Before the Islamic Revolution of 1979, women in swimsuits at beaches were not an uncommon sight in Iran. The brief period of liberalism in Iran was brought by Muhammad Reza Pahlavi, who ruled the country from 1941 to 1979 until the Islamic Revolution overthrew him. Pahlavi introduced social reforms in Iran during his reign, which involved a more Western approach towards how women should dress. However, his liberal policies were not in line with the Islamic hardliners of the country who tagged him as a Western stooge. The mullahs of Iran, led by Ayatollah Khomeini, managed to rake up emotions of the common Iranians and wrest power from Pahlavi in 1979. The fundamentalist regime started by Khomeini after the Islamic Revolution imposed a strict dress code for women in Iran. In 1983, the Iranian parliament made wearing hijab mandatory, and the punishment for violating the dress code was up to 74 lashes. However, the country later amended the law to substitute the punishment with monetary fine and prison sentence. When reformist President Mohammad Khatami took office in 1997, Iranian women could dress in more colorful and stylish ways, but the dogma of hijab wasn't reversed. In later years, Iran continued to preach women how to dress, but the arrival of Ibrahim Raisi in 1921 spelled the real doom. Raisi, who won an uncompetitive election in July 2021, revived the relatively dormant morality police to implement even stricter hijab laws. Under Raisi, a religious entity was tasked with promoting what the Iranian authorities believe is the ideal Islamic lifestyle for women. This religious body also recommended that surveillance cameras on public transport and shopping centers should be used to detect women wearing poor hijab. After more than a year of violently imposed hijab measures, women in Iran continue to defy the fundamentalist regime by removing their headscarves in public and confronting the aggressive morality police. And the death of Mahsa Amini has only emboldened them. The entire Iran is now in turmoil, and the youth are growing more and more hostile to the Raisi administration. For more importantly, the last 50 years in Iran show a tragic turnaround where women went from living and dressing freely to fighting for their basic human rights.